have ever signed a law that censors what goes on a sign? Where is it in your ordinance? Yes or no? Therefore, you are taking my freedom of speech away, my rights as a paid employee. This is not your privilege. These gentlemen and ladies have that privilege. I strongly recommend that you protect, as a group, elected group, these citizens, the township rights and your rights. To have a paid employee take those rights away. It might be very good that you start advertising for a new position in this area because you're causing a lot of trouble. I hope on your shoulders that you can rest the young men and women who have died in this township for freedom. Have the courage, have the backbone, and the guts to protect our freedom. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to bring anything up for the work session?
I would. John Sipes, 1041 Hickory Hill Road. I'd like to address the continuing saga of my driveway, which the township's attempting to turn into part of Fulton Road. The last meeting, you said that you were going to take my barriers down, you were going to open the road. You did take my barriers down, but you put some fairly obnoxious barriers of your own up. I'd first like to understand what's the township's intention with that.
Well, the township's intention is it's a road. It's not a driveway.
And can you tell me on what basis you're making that decision?
We're going off of the township plans that are, it's a road. It's always been a road. It has never been a driveway.
The township's plans?
Didn't we go through this nonsense last time?
I'm sorry, I don't consider the use of my property.
Well, it's not your property, it's a township road.
This is the East Nottingham 2006 zoning map. I'd like to take a look
No,
at.
I really don't want to take a look at it, because I know what it is.
There's no road shown here.
There is a road there. You know as well as we do that there's a road.
Look at you look at your own map.
I'm looking at your map and I really don't want to look at it.
Look at the East Nottingham Township zoning map. Right here it is. It is not on the map.
I think it is, Mr. Sykes.
It's on the
a very
map.
small version.
It's,
Would you like to look at that?
It's right there.
Put it in, like, can you see it's right there?
it's right here. On our zoning map.
Is this the township zoning map?
I don't know what that is, it's a copy of something. That is the legal township zoning map right there. I don't know what that is. That might have been something at one time, but I don't know.
This is the map that you gave me in your office earlier this year.
That is the township zoning map.
That doesn't have a resolution to show.
That would have been another from my map book,
Yes, it is.
which is not, the legal township zoning map. That is something from another organization. That's from
Where is,
Geographical Information Systems.
where is the actual legal township zoning map? If that book is.
Right there,
Behind you.
right behind you, see it's signed,
I see.
okay?
So, back to the, your intentions. Can you give me any kind of timetable on what you're gonna do with this? You've now come onto the property and have dug up a drain pipe. You put a ditch across the driveway. I can't even use it as a driveway now.
It's not a driveway.
It never has been.
Yes, it has.
No, it has never been a driveway. It has always been a road.
And you're basing that on what?
We're basing that on resolution and maps and a survey. So it's been a township road for a
A
long time, sir.
resolution can take property for the township without public notice, is that what you're telling me, ma'am?
Mr. Seitz,
Yes.
Mr. Seitz,
Explain how a resolution can
This, I
take
think-
private property and turn it into a road.
first of all, you're saying something that's not accurate.
Please correct me,
I will correct you.
okay?
It is a township road. A resolution 22 years ago identified that at that time it had been used for more than 21 years. It is described, it is recorded in the clerk of courts, Chester County, and it is also on file with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. It's a road. I know you don't like that answer, but it just is.
Well, we surely have a disagreement about that.
I agree, but I think we've been through this many times. It's a road.
Now, can you explain to me what the township's intentions are? Before I left my house tonight, Verizon was on the property because the township requested a PA1 call so they could do the construction. It's a normal thing. I think Bill Weaver put the request in for a PA1 call. He looked at it and he said, this is preposterous that they would try to make this a road. He said, you know, just removing this telephone pole is gonna cost upwards of $50,000.
Here's the issue, we're not trying to make it a road, it is a road.
Okay,
We
it's a
need to
road-
get that cleared up right
It's
now.
a road with a telephone pole in the middle of it.
It is a road, I don't care what's in the middle of it, it's a road, it's a township road.
So
Okay,
how
it's not a
much,
driveway, it's not your property, it is a township road, and the township intends to use it as a township road. That's the end
Well,
of
what-
it, that answers your question. You wanna know what our intentions are, those are what our intentions are.
and how much money have you budgeted for turning this thing into a usable road?
We'll budget what we need to budget for it.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes.
I'll give you the start. I've been there 68 years. There was a road back there. In 50, 80s, man, they Fulton out there had a farm, and Crowell out there, Florence Crowell's township supervisor. We were getting water. Before the road even went through, there was no road even going down 472. It went behind the shop, behind that point, and went across there. That was the road to Hickory Hill. Norman Slack, when the state bought a right of way through there, that left that triangle. My father bought the triangle off of it. The road was still behind there. We built that, filled that area in. The back of the road he's talking about, all the water would run down that road and would come in through the shop, sometimes 6 inches deep. So we asked Florence Crowell to come up and look at it. Florence and his wife came up. About one day, they always stopped in. We did work for everybody. And he said, Joe, we don't have the money to fix this road, to be able to spend that much money to pipe that through there. It's just too costly. He said, if you want to do it, you do it. As far as I'm concerned, the road's closed. It was a thing where it wasn't like this. He had 3 people over here and 1 secretary, and everybody worked for a living. Everybody had business in here. Everybody coalesced for one reason. That was to make sure everybody in the township got through, got out of their place, they ingress, egress, and get work done. So he said, well, I'm going to do this then. So my father dug up a ditch, put it all the way through under the wall, all over the other thing to get rid of the water. So that's the way it was left. And it was left that way until after my father died. And then a man named Dean Cheek, good old Dean Cheek, lived across the farm on his back son. And he was one of the supervisors, who didn't really work for them. But anyway, his silo started to lean. So we took our dozer up, hooked on the silo, pulled it back, let it sit there for 2 months while he fixed his silo. When the start of the state road fell down through and the cows couldn't come back through the meadow, We took our crane out, because the state wasn't gonna spend any money down there. We raised the concrete up so we could get these cows back in. We helped out everybody. So then my uncle, who took care of all our business, said, you wouldn't believe the people who owed your father money. Oh, I didn't. I was sitting down there. And he said, one of them's right across the street, me and Chief. I said, oh, really? I said, what about? They fixed up a truck that he wrecked. So I said, when he wrecked? He said, no, somebody ran into him. This is in '69. He said, someone ran into him and didn't pay for it. So my father repaired it, fixed it for him. Didn't charge him yet. He said, I'll pay you when I get paid. But it never happened. I didn't know that, so he showed me these bills in excess of $180,000 that people owed us. So I walked up the road to Dean's. I said, Dean, you know what this, you see this bill? Well, yeah. I said, well, what's this about? She said, well, the guy never paid me. I said, well, that's 20-some years ago. Well, I know, he never paid me. Why should I pay him? I said, well, my father fixed your truck for you. It wasn't his. And he says, you mean you want that money? I said, well, yeah. You don't want any business from us? I said, why would I want business if I don't get paid for it? So he wrote out a check and threw it at me. Well, I walked out and he said, I said, you haven't paid me yet. So he picked it up and shoved it in my back pocket. Well, guess what happens that Monday? Over comes Dean. Get all your cars, all that back area off that shop. We're opening that road back up. That was never officially taken off. Because I made him pay that bill. And that's what started. Before that, it was fine. Nobody said a word. We took care of that. Township truck, many times I've taken a backhoe, going over, cleaned that. When they broke an axle, put some snow, we put an axle in a loop, changed the axle. We didn't charge the township anything because we all worked together to get along. If we charged the township something, I'd still be paying it. So he'd say, the more we do for them, the less it costs us and the better the people are. And that's the way we always did it. We didn't steal the road. We just, we don't want to spend the money on it. Sure, there wasn't funds back then to do that stuff. And that's the reason we did it that way. And it would have never been opened back up had Dean not gotten mad and done that, say. So then this progressed along, and then afterwards, when they decided that they wanted to make to be able to come out of the ball field after they had so much traffic come across there, if we could not trade, and I'm sure, Mrs. Sebastian will tell you here, we traded right away for that, the road, the existing road back there, for a right of way and the point up front. And we all agreed to it, didn't we? And at the time, we all shook hands, even Bill was there, and we said, okay, we all agreed that you would draw up all the papers, and we would trade the right of ways for everything up on the point for you. And you came out, brought the state out, cleared that pipe, opened that pipe out for us, graded it all off, you mowed and maintained it. Now all of a sudden, it's back to pit bull again. So I don't know what has happened there, but that's what's happened in the 68 years that I've lived out there. And this is the first time I've come to one of these meetings.
I'm glad you can make it.
I've come over there to that one years ago because those people actually worked. They didn't fall around. They actually worked for a living, which is nice. Why come to some place that you don't need to? Because if I want something, I don't come cry to you people. I worked and I bought it, or I did without.
All right, we
And
got
if I didn't like,
Thank you, Mr.
if I didn't like Winnie's house, I'd ask if I could buy it. If I didn't like the looks of it. I don't go complain to you people because I don't like the color of the siding or something. Or I'll do without, or I'll go work
We
and
appreciate the input, but we're running over here.
I'll do without, see. But that's how this all started, see. And Bill will tell you.
I got it.
But he was there.
We're gonna move on.
This was agreed between, I know, but this agreement, this was a long time
There
ago.
is
Why
no
wasn't
agreement.
this settled? I don't
Because there's
understand
no
why it
agreement.
wasn't settled.
I don't know, and there's no agreement. It is
Okay, I
settled.
know, but there was. She will
Okay,
tell you and
but
Bill
it-
will tell you, not just not me.
Mr. Coates, I appreciate it.
Okay.
But at this point, it is settled. It's a township road.
Mhm.
We're done. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for enlightening everybody. Yes, ma'am.
How long has the Coates property had the exclusive use of that road? And what benefit is it to the township to spend any money on it?
I don't think they've ever had exclusive use of the road. There has never been anything that gave them exclusive use of any road.
I disagree.
That would be like me saying, I want to extend my driveway halfway across the street and no one else can use it. There's never been exclusivity.
I have to agree with Gary that until Dean got a bee in his bonnet, nobody used that road but the Coates.
Okay, well, again, I'm not sure what happened 50 years ago.
Okay, what benefit
don't
is
know.
it to the township to spend any money on that little stretch of ground?
That's a township road that the township gets paid for from the state for every year. We get funds based on every road in the township, every inch of road.
What benefit is it to the township?
It's a traffic benefit and it's a monetary benefit.
Explain that.
Explain,
Explain both those statements.
it cuts off the traffic. If people need to turn, they can use that road if it's an open road.
2 more intersections on those busy roads are gonna make it safer.
It's gonna eliminate the traffic issues there.
I don't see
And
a
it's also a
traffic issue
monetary
everywhere down the
benefit
street.
because the state, we actually get paid state money for every
Yeah,
road
but how
that
much
we
is
have.
that compared to how much we, the taxpayers, this township, are gonna pay to make that back into a road?
It's gotta be a lot more than what we're gonna pay to make
I'd
the
like to see
township.
those numbers.
Do we have any idea what we get paid road-wise? Well, we can look it up for a further meeting. Thank you.
If the state's paying out that kind of money, our roads ought to be in a hell of a lot better shape than they
I
are.
think our roads are in damn good shape, so thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Forgive me, and I apologize, this is one of my first meetings. I wanted to chat in terms of the officer's statements earlier. Do I have to stand up?
No.
Okay. Is there a way that we can do, I'm one of the social media people that had information on social media. So part of that learning process, and that was more, my intention was more to make neighbors aware of what was happening within the township. Is there some sort of forum that we as a township have or can set up to make other township people aware, be it an emergency, be it the fact that there's an increase in these types of situations that are happening, and be it that there are factual posts through that?
I'm not sure. Is there a forum? They don't have access to
Yes,
this.
that's-
I mean, what you can do is, you know, when we do the web, like, we're not, you do the website. Who does the website? Pat, right?
Actually, the associates,
Okay. But who updates it?
I'm more talking about something that alerts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's, Joe, can you give me 1 second?
I can answer his
Go
question.
ahead, Joe, answer the question, please.
It's in the weekly newspaper. It's called the Police Blog, log. It shows all the criminal events, who got arrested for drunk driving, what their break-ins were. It's all covered in the paper.
That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking more for something to alert our township citizens that this is something that's happening within the township, to please lock your doors, please be aware that there's an increase in these types of situations.
Now, are you looking more for like
An alert.
an email list, like for the township to send, you know, have a
Well,
list of
I don't
email
know
addresses
when,
and send
in
out
November,
something?
when people vote, if they would like to put their name on for an email distribution or something like that, if something should come up, so it's official, it comes from the township, or it's a release from the police department or something like that. So it is facts, and it is what's happening, so that social media doesn't get,
Okay, Pat, is this something that you think we could do? Have an email list of residents?
in the newsletter, telling people if they want that information to contact the township with an email list, and we could start build one, and it's
Mhm.
going to go out for a while, but that is one thing that will go to everybody's door,
Well, how often do you update the website?
whenever it needs to be updated.
Something that's pretty easy. That's something we need to look at.
And then residents would have to keep going to the
Yeah, I'm-
website,
I'm-
thinking, oh, did I, not check it?
I'm thinking more of an alert versus, even just, God
If
forbid,
people wanted to
wintertime.
give their emails, I think that's.
I think it would be a good thing just for the township to have, should there be a situation or, something that needs to be alerted to citizens of the township that.
Yeah,
they're able to do that.
I think it's a pretty good idea, I think. I think it's something that we should really look into.
It's free,
in the future.
I mean, it would take the time to make the
Yeah.
list, but.
The only important thing, well, the main important